This is highly requested, so we're going to do it right now. We've got a circuit toner, and the last video did really well, man. We already got 800 views in a day, which is great. We had a lot of questions live, and I want to address this. I've got this in the horizontal format, so I can cut this video up and show you guys the most useful information. I'm also hoping to get some interactive experiences. If you guys are here after the live, comment down below for any questions, but I'm going to definitively show you why you need both. You need a circuit toner and you need a circuit tracer. Now, I've talked about this before. I don't care what toner you buy. Make sure that it has the sensitivity light right here. And yeah, we're going to show you how to use this circuit tracer, which is just like the Ideals. I've used all the Ideals. I've used all this stuff before live, professionally, everything. So last night we were live. We showed somebody how to use this. They had some questions, and kind of brought to my attention that some people don't really know how to use this properly. So we're going to be doing that right now. Going to make it really simple. Also, I've got a tripod ready, so this should be way better quality than last night. So this is what we're going to do. We got a plug here. Now, the deal with this plug is I need to put a spark guard on this plug because I've got wood receptacles. Finished surface is set back more than a quarter inch, so we had to have a spark guard here. Before I put that on here, I've got access to these lugs. This plug is energized right now, so it's going to help me access this. Once I put the spark guard on, all bets are off. It's not going to be as easy to get access to these lugs. So I figured I'd make this video right now before I put the spark guards on, and why not do it live? Now, I'm on horizontal format, so my chat is going to be different than what I can usually see. So if you're chatting, I'm not sure where it's popping up, but if you have any questions, let me know. First thing we're going to do, we're going to get our ET450 here, or your transmitter, basically, right? Got the transmitter. I attached a wire to mine. That way I could hang it. So that's how I did that there. I'm still able to close my kickstand. I'm going to hook that right here. It's not really relevant on what's going on here. I'll hold it up here in a second to show you what's going on. But we're just going to turn it on right now. It just says that it's transmitting right now. Then you're going to want to get an alligator clamp. And this plug is energized. And we're going to go ahead and just clamp it right there on that lug. And we're going to plug into the hot. So if you're not competent with electrical work, don't do it yourself. But man, some of this stuff is so easy, and I'm going to explain to you how you can do this yourself if you're trying to track down a plug or something in your house. We're going to take the ground, and very quickly I'm going to show you the difference between the ground and not tracing with the ground. And that is my dogs. So we're going to plug it into here. Now you're going to see that we have completed our circuit. It's going to say energized here, which means we have a good ground. So if I was to unplug this, we lose the voltage, we lose the energized. If I even touch the yoke here, you can see where we've completed the circuit. So that's how we're going to attach to our ground. This is the one you're going to grab if you've got that ET450 or maybe a different circuit tracer. And then we've also got these prongs here. Now this one is for the hot, this one's for the neutral. They're different sizes, I believe. Maybe they're the same. But either way, this is a tamper-proof receptacle. So we're not going to be able to plug in both of these because, well, maybe we can. Let's see. Let's see here. This is dangerous, so. No. So this is a tamper-proof receptacle. So how do we access tamper-proof receptacles? We got to grab a multimeter. Let's see if we have one here on the table. or even just a lead set. We'll just go with this lead set. So to access the tamper-proof receptacle, we have to plug them both in at the same time like this. Get a little jiggle, and then they will open. So if you're trying to read just the hot, you're going to put them both in and then only pull out one or the other. So to get this in here, I'm going to leave one down here for the purpose of this video. We're going to take our neutral. We're going to plug in just to the hot and just to the neutral to trick this stupid device to open up. There we go. Now we've got our neutral in. We're going to leave that there. And I'm going to leave my ground in also. So we've got a hot, we've got the availability for a neutral, and we've got our ground right now. Now with your toner, we're going to turn this on. It's immediately going to start beeping because we're on level 6, which means we can find this. This thing is going to think that this circuit is even this right here. You're going to say, oh, well, is it that? It's beeping. You might even go over here and say, oh, well, maybe it's this drill because it's beeping, right? So you can see where you want to turn the sensitivity down to start tracing. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go down to level 1 here, and we're going to go to the source wire. This is our source wire. This is our source wire. We're not interested in the ground right now. So this is our source wire. We're going to go right here without touching it, and we're going to dial up. What's up, Jamie? We're going to dial up until we get, I mean, a pretty definitive result there. You're going to have 99. That's definitely going to be our wire here. Now that we dialed this in, level 3, level 4 is really ideal when you're tracing through walls and stuff. I'll show you that in a second. We're just going to leave it level 3. We're going to go back over here where we're getting 70 and 40, and you see here where we're not getting anything. No, this circuit is on. This circuit is energized right now. This is the difference between a toner and a tracer. The tracer, we can have the circuit on, but it's not going to be as accurate as a toner for pinpoint accuracy. And that's why this video is to show you why you actually need both. And it's also to show you why you want to trace on the ground, not the neutral. And it's also going to show you the usability of both tools in the same scenario. So I just saw that I can see the chat now. It only pops up for a second. So if for some reason I haven't answered your question already, just ask again. Okay, so we're just going to leave this here. I got to hang in here. That's just how I have my toner, right? Now we're ready to trace. So we got level 3, right? We know we're going to be very accurate, which means I wired this last night. So last night we added all this table, we added all this light, and we added these plugs. Now, just like I mentioned before, I need spark guards, so I haven't closed these up yet. But you can see here where I'm able to identify possible wire through the wall. We really want signal 4 for this, and you really want to hold your toner on its side to get the better response here. Does the toner have to be off like the toner? Oh, what's up, Suresh? So this is our, I'm going to plug this. This is our circuit here. This is the same circuit. And yeah, we're probably going to have to turn this up just a little bit because all the real electronics are back here. We got tamper-proof for this receptacle. I'm going to bump this up to 4 to trace here. Now, we're getting a 30 here. Now, 30 doesn't sound like a lot, okay? What's up? 30 doesn't sound like a lot, but with this tracer, dude, I can go to any plug in my house, and I'm not going to get a 30. This thing is so accurate. I can go to a couple of different places in my house right now. I'm not going to get a response anywhere else. See how I'm getting beeps over here? Getting beeps over here. Getting some beeps in the wall as the wire passes through and goes from one side to the other side. And that's the power of dialing this thing in. If you're trying to trace at level 6, you're never going to get this. The other thing that we're doing here, we're tracing with the ground. Let me show you what happens when we trace with the neutral. When we trace with the neutral, we get a lot more signal strength. which is useful for tracking down circuits outside, underground, things like that. But you can see where I'm already level 4 right here. I'm just going to leave this right here. We're going to set it up against this DeWalt drill. Just like that. Okay. 26, just chilling, right? I'm going to unplug the neutral. And we're going to plug back into the ground here. See where we're getting 0? Yeah, 0 in the ground, right? We're in the ground, okay? So for a tracer, you get more accuracy with the ground, you get less sensitivity, okay? Let me go back to the neutral here. Immediately jumps up to about 35, 36. Let's go down here now, tracing with the neutral instead. Let's see the difference. Let's go over here. We're getting a way better signal strength through the wall. See as we're coming through. We're actually getting some positivity on the plug here. But remember, we're tracing on the neutral. So we're going to get a lot more sensitivity because we've got the whole circuit, basically. Wish I could have some naps all the time. I have some boring burgers and bacon every day. So yeah, you can see the difference here of the neutral versus the ground. The neutral is going to give you more power for a tracer, but you're going to get more accuracy with the ground. And that's why you want to dial this in. And truthfully speaking, if you really want to find what you're looking for, you want to use the ground. Let's go to a different plug in the house and let's see what we can get using the ground. So we're only getting 30. We're not getting anything here. 0. Even if we turn this thing all the way up to 6, we're still not getting anything. So 30 doesn't sound like a lot, but if you've got this thing dialed in correctly, you're not going to get a 30 anywhere else in your house. So a 30 is enough to confirm a positive identification on the circuit you're looking for, even though you'd usually be looking for a 99. If you've dialed this thing in like I just showed you, and you're getting a 30 on a plug around your house, you can pretty much bet that's going to be the one that you're looking for. So if we go to the panel here, this is something that somebody struggled with yesterday. If we go to the panel here, we're dialed in, we're going to leave it at 3. We might bump it to 4 too. We're getting 99 at the source, okay? Let's go to the panel. My panel, I need to change my panel. So we got wires hanging out. Okay, this is my studio circuit. This is the one that I'm looking for. I've got a 99 still identified there. Hard for you guys to see it. Getting 99 right there, 91 on level 3, right? Anything else beeping? We got some beeps up there on the bath. So the bath is getting 29 right there, maybe. We'll say it thinks it's the bath 21%, right? 12, something like that. Watch what happens if we attach to the neutral instead of the ground. So we're at 20% on the bath with a 91 on the ground, okay? We're gonna see what this does to the neutral. Let's go back to the bath, which we know is not the right circuit. Let's see the difference here. We've kept the same settings. We're on level 3 right now. Damn, the bath thinks that it's Bath thinks that it's freaking 66%. And that's because we traced on the neutral. We go back to the studio. Of course, we're going to get a good positive reading because now we're like overly sensitive. But this is the benefit to using the ground. You can trace with the neutral. It's just not going to be as accurate. See, we're hovering around easily 50% on the bath circuit up here. And it's definitely not the bath circuit. What's up, Soundwave? I'll have to scroll back through that comment here in a second. So this is why, yes, the neutral works. But you definitely want to use the ground because you're going to get more accuracy. Now, if you're tracing underground, you're trying to find a break in the wire, you're doing some other stuff, yeah, use the neutral. And what's really cool about this is the same thing with the toner. Same thing with the toner. You want to use the ground and not the neutral. You get pinpoint accuracy with the toner now. Let me see here. I think my wife is bringing back ice cream. All right. How do I see the chat? Oh, there it is. Perfect. How about a plug tester with a toner from Klein to look for the breaker? It's a toner too. It probably is a toner. What I call it a toner and something else, I'm probably calling it something else from what I just know what I've always called it. I've got that plug tester that you're talking about, so hang on a second. Let me see here. What are the differences between Klein circuit testers and Fluke? I'll show you that too. How about a plug tester with the toner from Klein? So Soundwave, and yes, okay. Let's answer the question. Fluke versus the other guys. Let me see here. I'm looking for a set of leads, and I'm looking for microphone still attached to me. That's good. Yeah, we'll use this. We'll use these alligator clamps. This will make life really easy. Okay. This is a field piece. This is 200 bucks. I can go get an Ideal that I got for 40. I can go get a piece of crap for $30 that'll do this. We're gonna go here to continuity here. I don't have a Klein one, but the Klein ones work as well. See, we're in continuity. We want to get to, let me see here. Fluke here, let's see here. I might need leads to do it. Here's some leads. The Fluke stuff, in short, man, it feels like you just got to pay a lot more to get the same features. So Fluke is very reliable, right? But the Kleins, the Ideals, all those other meters, they give you a little bit more value, I guess you would say. See, right now I'm reading through my body here. This is from finger to finger, and I'm getting ohms. So I'm taking this 9-volt battery, and I'm putting the current from here to this finger. So I'm pretty much putting voltage across my heart, which isn't a great idea, but that's what we're doing. I'm putting very low voltage from finger to finger, okay? The Flukes, you got to spend big bucks to be able to do that. So if I take this Fluke here and we set it to ohms here, same setting. This one has a light, so this is like $100 and something meter. It just says OL. So if you've got a corroded ground fault where the side of the receptacle is just barely touching the box. And it's enough to trip the breaker, but your fluke is not telling you that the grounds are shorted to the hot, and you're trying to troubleshoot it. I think we can all agree that's a freaking problem, right? So I just bought this fluke. I went to my buddy's house. I was like, yeah, I'm going to use the fluke today. And yeah, man, I ended up finding the problem was a freaking shorted ground here, but this thing wouldn't show me. It wouldn't show me at all. It just said, nope, Robert, nothing's touching. You're good to go. So I was like, oh, okay, well, it can't be that box, you know. And then after finally circling back, I was able to push this plug hard enough against the metal box to where I could get this thing to beep. But really, this thing started beeping in continuity as I got closer to the problem. But when I first went to the first plug in the whole line of the circuit, it said, nope, everything is clear. But then, as I started getting less and less resistance through the circuit and I started getting closer to the source, this thing actually started making noise on continuity, which it does. I thought it did. You liar. There you go. Started beeping, right? But it would still show me OL. But it was enough to turn the speaker on. So this thing effectively useless for troubleshooting, even though you're spending all this money. So are flukes good? Yeah, they're probably the best. Are they good for troubleshooting when you're going to spend $400 plus on a fluke? And then you're going to go from outlet to outlet? You're going to quickly try to, because they don't come with a lead storage, of course, because that would be too much to ask, right? So you're constantly putting down your $400 meter, you're setting it on the ground, you're banging it all around, you're going from this plug to this plug to this plug. Dude, I don't like to bang up my multimeters that I spend big bucks on, especially a fluke. So I like to get a little ideal that's cheap, that I can just go from plug to plug to plug really quickly. Nope, it's not that. Nope, it's not that. Not worry about the damn leads, not worry about the quality of the meter. I just want to know one thing. Are the grounds and hots touching? And I don't need a $400 fluke to do it. So my thought is, if you're doing industrial and stuff, you're doing commercial, you want to check voltage to protect your life, get a fluke, get this meter, right? Get a T5, get a T6, something like that. You're doing troubleshooting, get you a good quality fluke, and then also get you a bang around meter. One meter ain't gonna fix it all. Just like one toner versus one circuit tracer, it ain't gonna fix it all, because you still need to pinpoint wires. So back to the toners and tracers, this is not going to pinpoint wires. If you couldn't tell, this thing was beeping at a percentage at the top of the panel, giving me a 30% reading. These tracers here, these toners, whatever you want to call them, these things give you a little light once you get close to the source. So that's really useful versus getting a little percentage. So if I turn this on, I'm going to have to attach to a ground here to get a better signal. Let me touch here. So right now what I did was I attached the, I clipped to the yoke of that receptacle to increase my signal strength. Then we're going to dial this all the way down, and then we're going to dial this up probably 4 times. You see that toning right there, that little pulse right here? See that pulse? That's basically what you want. And that's the difference of accuracy there. Not touching, almost touching, we're getting the beeping. So this will find the individual wire that you're looking for in a crowded box. And this will also find the individual wire you're looking for in a crowded box with other energized wires. Let me show you. So if we spin this thing around here, and I hold this right next to my hot, which I wouldn't recommend doing because this could explode, but whatever. See if I can get it to focus. Why won't you focus? Wow, it really doesn't want to focus. Hang on. That's a little better. I was trying to look at my arm. Hang on. There we go. I can come in. We're going to get our humming because it's energized, but I'm also going to get, even though it's humming, it's not really lighting up. And now you can see where you're getting that difference. Even though I'm right on this energized circuit here, you can see where the light actually lights up when I find the wire. So even in a crowded box, you can still find the circuit that you're looking for when some are energized and some aren't. You're going to get the humming because it's picking up all that other electromagnetic flux lines, I guess you would say. That's what it's picking up on. And it's buzzing at us saying this is energized. But also, once you find the other wire that you're looking for, this light's going to turn on with pinpoint accuracy compared to a toner. A toner, if I bring this here, or a tracer, sorry. A tracer, if I bring it here real close, I'm at 99% way the hell out here on level 4. So, yeah, you would have to turn this thing all the way down to where who even knows how reliable it is. Yeah, see, it's really just a guessing game versus using these in tandem. So somebody asked a question today, which one to get? And the answer is, as a professional, you need both of them. This will get you by in residential for most of your career. This you're going to need if you're doing commercial. There's no doubt about it. Clamping to energized circuits is something in a crowded box and be able to read through EMT. And this thing reads through shielded cables, all that stuff. A toner won't read through shielded cables, and a toner won't read energized circuits. So that's basically it in a nutshell. Everything you need to know about your toner and your tracer, how to tone with your tracer. Same way to tone with your toner is hook it up to the ground. You guys got any questions? I'm going to check the chat. I don't even know how to check the chat. Someone's got to say something. I can bring it up. Let's see. A light bulb and flashing circuit plugged in the receptacle will get me with an amp clamp on the circuit breaker. Yep. That'll let you know what circuit it is for sure. However, you got to access all those wires. So it just depends on, like my panel. Ha! No way. No way doing that on my panel. Why is the Ideal toner trash from Home Depot? It doesn't have the light. And you're probably not dialing in with the ground, but if it doesn't have the signal light, it's trash. Even the Klein one that doesn't have this light is effectively trash. I've already taken it out of this room. I don't even know where it is. I think it's in the garage. It's not in here because it's not useful. So I didn't want anyone to see it in the background and say, oh, I saw that on someone's YouTube video. They have it. It must be good. I take things out of this room that aren't good, purposely. Just in case you see it in the background. You might see this DeWalt Sawzall and say, oh, hey, I saw it in the background of Tools and Tactics. He has that saw. It must be good. Yeah, it is good, and it's in the background. It's fine. Anything you see in the background, generally pretty safe. Even though I'm a huge Klein fan, you see these in the background? These are decent, dude. These are probably the best thing that you can buy for 20 bucks. If you said, what's the best thing you can buy for $20 at Home Depot and you only had $20 to spend and you needed something, just pick anything in the world to go on a deserted island with, dude, it's going to be these. For $20, you get like the journeyman style like grips, you know? These are fantastic, man. Even though they are Milwaukee, this is probably the best thing that Milwaukee's ever made, pound for pound, bang for your buck. This is going to make you so much money compared to any other $20 tool you can buy. This is it. Way better than the new stuff that they're making. All right, kids are here. I got to get. Figured I'd make this live quick, break it down. I had some questions on the video that I just dropped. I'm going to be cutting this one up. I might even just drop this whole video and edit out the dogs. We'll see you guys later.